Hi, I'm Elisabeth Cooper, and I am so glad that you have come to the new Poets of Immortality page to find out more about who we are. Who are we? What are we doing? And how can you get connected? About over a year ago, I started the new Poets of Immortality, and it's a small collective of poets. And the Lord, for years, has spoken to me about the shift that the poets will bring, the shift that those who carry a poetic heart will bring to the earth. And so my heart in starting this was to begin to gather poets who could begin to enter into the poetic heart of God, because God is a poet, and begin to pull on mysteries and the beauty of God, and new ways to say things and new revelations, and bring those and crack them open in the earth. Because what the Lord showed me is that He is going to use the poets. There's a new breed of poet rising up in the earth, and this company of poets is actually going to shift the landscape of not only poetry but the arts. They're going to shift the landscape of even culture and society. They are going to bring healing to the land, to people. There's going to be miracles that come bursting out, that are birthed by their words and the things that they bring to the earth. And so I am super excited about it, and I'm just going to really talk briefly today and kind of bullet point so you can kind of get an idea about who we are and where we're going, and again, how you can get connected with that. And so I want to read to you a little bit of the blog post that I posted called Poet Prophets on my website. And so I can't remember when I posted that, but you can go check it out too. But I'm going to read a little bit of that. There is a new breed of poet rising in the earth, and they will shift the landscape of the mountain of poetry from the melancholy shadow that's been over it into the brilliance and truth of life and immortality. We want to come into the reality of life and immortality, and that is the thing that we operate out of in all of our lives, and the outflow of all our creativity comes out of that. The reality of the love of God, the life of Christ, life and immortality, right? They will take processes and break them down into words that will fly with a banner of truth and beauty. God is waiting. Here's what He showed me. He said, I'm waiting to release mantles of eloquence. I am waiting to release. There's hosts of heaven waiting to be released, to come and assist these poets in releasing the beauty and the mysteries of God that He has reserved for this time and this hour in history. There's dispensations of grace on understanding and revelation, and we are presently and coming into a dispensation of grace that is unprecedented in terms of understanding, in terms of mystery being poured out, in terms of revelation and the beauty of God being cracked wide open for the earth, and the shift that will bring, and the justice that will bring. Because part of this, a lot of this, is about the justice of God, making the wrong things right, making the dark things light. These poets are going to rise up in a plumb line truth, and coming out of the holy heart of God, they are going to release the beauty and the mystery and release these mysteries. And there's going to be this widespread new understandings, things that we have not understood before, these deep and ancient mysteries God has reserved to crack open for this day and this hour. And it is so, so exciting. So God is going to use the poets, the storytellers. This is what he said. He said, I'm raising up poets, storytellers, writers, songwriters, artists. I am raising them up, and I am going to release them onto the earth to shift atmospheres, to heal the land, to cause awakening in the church, and to really just bring widespread understanding. So it's super exciting, the day that we are in, and the time that we are in, and what God is doing. Let's see. I went a little bit off there, so let me catch up with my notes here. So within that, there will be poet prophets that rise up. And it's very important. I need to note this because I've talked about this a little bit before, even publicly, about poet prophets rising. And I posted about it on my Instagram. Not every poet in this company of poets is going to sit in the office of prophet, okay? That is not what I'm saying. There will be a new, fresh prophetic mantle that will rest on this company of poets. They will all prophesy, and the word talks about that. Talks about we will all prophesy. I would that you would all prophesy, right? We need to all be operating in that. When I say poet prophets, I am talking about a company of poets that their words do not fall to the ground. That God uses their words to shift and to bring freedom and to shine light on truth, and so and to really co-create the future with God. Because what is prophecy? It is the agreement with the heart of God about a certain thing or situation, nation, city, person. It is the agreement with the heart of God, and then releasing that onto the earth to create the future, really. So we're pulling tomorrow into today. We are the tomorrow people, right? And so it's super exciting. And so these poet prophets, there will be prophets that rise up within this company of poets. They will be actual prophets, but not all of the poets in this new breed are actually going to walk in that office, if that makes sense. And I'm probably going to do some more in-depth teaching on that, but I want to be clear about that when I'm talking about poet prophets. God is raising up a company that would trumpet the word of God, and their words will not fall to the ground. Okay, just like Samuel, that his words did not fall to the ground. And the Lord spoke to me and said, look, the poets have been pushed to the wayside. They have been relegated to the sidelines. They have been maybe accused of being too sensitive, too revolutionary, too contrary, they see too much, they feel too much. And so what the Lord told me is, look, I am bringing the poets to the forefront. I'm going to heal them, and I'm going to put the words of heaven in their mouth. I'm going to put a mantle of eloquence on them so that they walk in an unprecedented manner in the earth as far as poets are concerned. And so we've really, in terms of poet prophets, we've been used to a certain style of prophet in the earth. But the Lord told me, he's shifting that. He said there's a tendency to look for that and only that kind of style, and therefore recognize only that. But I'm telling you, we need to begin to let heaven open our eyes to the prophetic movement that is currently bubbling up in the earth. Do not miss the forest for the trees, beloved. Ask for eyes to see the fresh breath of the prophetic that's being released through vessels that have been largely written off as just the artists that complement the main act. I'm telling you, there's a prophetic movement coming in the arts that will shift the landscape of the earth, that will establish the kingdom, that will heighten the prophetic in a way that we have not seen. And so the Lord has been speaking to me about this for years, but this year he just really lit a fire in me, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to start the new Poets of Immortality, right? Which is a prophetic name because it is the name goes before us to cut through the darkness. Okay? That's why it is called the new Poets of Immortality. So just a portion of what he has spoken to me, and then we'll get to how you can kind of connect and what we're going to be doing here. He said, watch and see that I will pour fire and revelation out of the poets of my heart that will change nations. The poets of my heart. This is a union thing. The poets who reside, the poets who wait in the heart of God, who are entangled into the life of God and is sloshing around in his heart, the poets who are in the heart of God, that it will change nations. I will pour fire and revelation out of the poets of my heart that will change nations. And I will rise in the grassroots places that you do not expect. My voice will thunder through their music, through their writing, through their spoken word, bringing kingdom order and justice to regions and lives. And the church will hear and observe what I'm doing with my bride in the earth, and they will leave their old ways behind. They will pick up my ways, and they will rise to build my kingdom in the earth. The voices of the poet prophets will shine light on kingdom revolution, and you will see the dawning of a new era. As you receive this expression of my heart in the earth and engage with the prophetic anointing on it, do not look where you have always looked. Do not only hear from the sounding stations in the earth you have tuned your ears to. For I am raising up voices, poets crying in the wilderness, make way for revolution, make way for deeper expressions of the kingdom than you have sought for fear of ruining your own plans and purposes. This is the time. This is the hour. This is the time for revelation power. So get ready for sweeping wind in the church, riding in on the voices of the burning-hearted poets that I am releasing in the earth. Get ready for revolution. There will be such a revolution in the church when the artists get free, they get healed, they get equipped, and they get released. All right, so let's talk about future plans for the new Poets of Immortality and how you can get connected. I have had so many people message me, email me, text me that this message, you've seen a bit of it. I shared a bit of it up at Seattle Revival Center. I've shared some of it on my Facebook page and some live videos and my blog. And so this message has really spoken to and kindled, rekindled passion in the hearts of poets who have lost hope. I'm hearing a lot of that, or have felt cast aside. I'm hearing a lot of that too. And so I'm so excited to be able to move forward in this vision, in this mandate that the Lord has given me. So, what we want to do as the new Poets of Immortality is we want to co-labor with God to equip and release this new breed of poet, this new company of poets in the earth. So, in the coming months, we are going to be releasing, or launching rather, the new Poets of Immortality Academy. I do not have an exact date for that launch, but look for some concrete dates and details in the beginning of November. The first couple weeks of November, we are going to be releasing the launch date of this academy. It's going to be a year-long intensive where we will focus on skill, the spiritual health of the poet, getting ourselves healed up in every way, so that we can really represent and see through the lenses, through proper lenses, and deliver what we're supposed to deliver in the earth. So let's see here. I don't want to miss anything. So there's going to be a whole lot more information rolling out about this. I am very excited. We are putting together, we're working to put together just an amazing year-long experience with just a community of poets, of learning together, and of really pressing into even our identity as individuals and as poets. What does that look like? And pressing into the mystical union that we have with the Lord, which is the source for really all of this. That is where all of this will come from, is out of our relationship and our union with Him, right? So again, we're working to put together just an amazing program for you guys, and so I am really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to giving you more information as we have it. Again, look for some really big, important announcements in the beginning of November. We will have some real concrete details for you then. Until then, follow me on Instagram for updates at Elisabeth M. Cooper. It is, again, spelled with an S and not a Z. Elisabeth M. Cooper on Instagram. I post a lot of my stuff having to do with new Poets of Immortality on Instagram and not necessarily Facebook. You can friend me on Facebook, and I will be posting the important announcements on there as well. But for poetry, I am mostly just posting all of that on Instagram and on my website, www.elisabethcooper.com. Again, that is with an S and not a Z, elisabethcooper.com. You can follow the new Poets of Immortality. There's a whole page where we curate poems from the new Poets of Immortality, so you can read poetry there. You can comment. I encourage you to do that, and just really kind of take in some of the work of the new Poets of Immortality. And then, of course, right here on this page that you are on, unless you're watching on YouTube, which also you can connect with me on YouTube for video announcements. So if you're watching on YouTube, I will be posting video announcements also to my website and to YouTube. And I will probably be posting some of those video announcements to Facebook as well, but probably not all of them. So keep in touch with me on this page, on the new Poets of Immortality Vision and News. Here is where you're going to find all of the news about upcoming projects. This fall, there's going to be, I am putting out a spoken word project. Amy Axby is putting out a spoken word project, and we have some spoken word compilation projects in the works with the new Poets of Immortality. So stay tuned. You will find all the news, all of the news releases for the new Poets of Immortality Academy. You will find on this page. video updates on YouTube as well. So I hope that this has helped you guys to understand the vision of kind of what we're doing. We are building a community for poets, and we are building a place where poets can be equipped even more than they are. There's so many talented poets, and we all just want to get better. So we want to create this really a year-long intensive where we can really just partner together and dig into it, dig into the academic part of it and the spiritual part of it, both. And so thank you for stopping by. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for watching this video, being interested in what we're doing. And again, you can connect with me on Instagram at Elisabeth M. Cooper. You can connect with me on YouTube, Facebook. Feel free to friend me on Facebook or follow me on Facebook. And then, of course, on my website, www.elisabethcooper.com. And I am looking forward to updating you in the future.